Hey, the portrait here. Now, it doesn't matter if you only know how to draw a stick figure, you will understand how realism drawing works in the next few minutes in one of the most common ways to draw or paint, the way old masters and most artists typically use. Here's a picture of a rotten banana. If I were to ask a regular person with no drawing experience to draw this realistically, they would likely think of a banana as a symbol or a emoji, so they, or you, might start with an outline of a banana shape, color it yellow and add some dots. It will look more like a cartoon rather than a realistic drawing or painting. Now, let's bring in an artist and ask them to draw this banana. Here's what goes on in their mind. Most commonly, they'll break down to layers and shapes. What do they actually see? Maybe start with the lightest color value, ignoring the dark and midtones at first, or a larger shape like background, and then add more layers of shape on top. Again, the focus is on shapes rather than the idea of a banana. They might see a yellowish shape, a grayish shape above it, and continuously breaking it down. This happens immediately in their minds. They probably organize shapes of similar color and value. In this example, the shadow has a gradient, the yellow part is in the middle, and light and gray are at the top. So the artist begins by painting the yellow layer, then adds the top one around it. They continue adding layers and shapes and gradually adding dark edges and shadows. As they lay down more information, the drawing becomes more realistic. They refine the drawing by fine-tuning the value of specific areas and add tiny details, resulting in a realistic image. To summarize, the artist draws what they actually see, and usually that's shapes. They arrange and layer these shapes, usually from largest shape to smaller ones, or the arrangement could be from light to dark to light, or from perceived background to foreground shapes. Then they refine the drawing to whatever degree they want to, how much detail you want to add. To master this may take time, but the concept is simple. Another example, if I ask someone to draw a realistic cube, they would likely start with a basic outline and then color it in. But in reality, a cube is just 3 different shapes. By focusing on drawing these shapes and consider the light source, a realistic cube emerges. Any perceived lines are just differences between the shapes where they meet. The same applies to our banana, where gray parts and shadow parts are subtle shapes and gradients. To get good at drawing realistically involves getting proportions and tones, values, and colors correct. Once you master these, you can draw anything you see, or perhaps for some of you, what you imagine. With added knowledge of perspectives and lighting and anatomy, you can then explore conceptual art. Once you mastered this basic concept of realism, you can then start drawing and painting how you feel, or make slight tweaks based on your style. For many beginners, it is still helpful to have step-by-step videos to follow, but drawing realistically is a skill pretty much anyone can learn. Hopefully this video made some light bulbs go off in some of your heads. Subscribe and ring the bell if you want to. Talk to you next time. Cheers!